This film is brought to you by New York Life and its dedicated agents, proud sponsors of the NFL's team highlight films. New York Life, the company you keep. It was a play that, more than any other, symbolized all that the Philadelphia Eagles had come to represent. Big play potential, explosive swiftness, and above all, shadowed controversy. Ben Smith's apparent touchdown return put the Eagles on the verge of a long-awaited playoff victory. But once again, the postseason gods brought heartache.
The official on the field ruled fumble and a touchdown. However, the play has been reversed.
A frustrating third consecutive playoff loss brought an end to the Buddy Ryan era of Eagles football. But not before the Birds had clawed their way to another 10-win season. 1990 was a season in which nothing came easy for the Eagles. They had to struggle for every inch of ground they gained, and along the way they created some of the most memorable moments of the entire 1990 NFL season.
A very big play for the Eagles. As Cunningham is back, he's being trapped. He ducks under 3 men. He's looking. He's rolling. He's heaving it deep downfield for Barnett, who leaps and has it at the 40, at the 35-30, 25-20. Barnett's going to score!
The Eagles' explosiveness could cloud the sunniest expression and shoot holes in the stingiest opposition. And it was this fly by the seat of their pants style that made for any number of close calls through the season. Some that they escaped, and some that they did not. Ultimately, the continued shortcomings at playoff time proved a change was necessary. But rather than disrupt the existing order, the Eagles promoted from within, making offensive coordinator Rich Kotite the 18th head coach in Philadelphia Eagles history.
Regardless of being a head coach, I think, first of all, you have to be yourself.
Get in there, you're in there. Number 70, speed left.
I'm a hands-on guy, and I'm very demonstrative. I talk with my hands a lot.
Pretty determined. That's right. Look at them split. What's on? Phone's broken. My phone's broken. All right. Hey, listen. Keep your head up. Keith Jackson. Keith, on that slant 37G, roll it right in there. You understand? I told him to screen the count out.
I think it's hard work. I think it's relating to the players and getting them to do the things that you want them to do and having confidence in that. I've always felt that knowledge is confidence. And the more you know, the more confident you're going to be. And it's as simple as that.
Perhaps Kotite's greatest luxury will be having Randall Cunningham on his side, something that was not quite the case early in 1990.
I doubted myself at the beginning of the season. I thought that I wouldn't be able to get this offense and make it work and make it effective. And at the beginning of the season, a lot of guys were like making some mistakes, but we turned it all around. He didn't have to simplify it for anybody because everybody knew that we had the brains to do it. So we just went out and we did it, and the system turned around, and it's a great system.
What you doing? Because something sooner or later that lose contain, and you can make 10 yards, just don't let them hit you. That's right.
In 1990, nobody was better at making things happen than Randall Cunningham, who emerged as the premier quarterbacking threat in the NFL. 942 yards rushing, over 3,400 yards passing, 30 touchdown passes. Cunningham brought an excitement to the position that left opponents gasping for breath.
I want to run. I want to spin around. I want to run a guy over every once in a while.
Cunningham took command of the Eagles' offensive scheme and soared beyond description, earning numerous league and conference MVP awards, including the Maxwell Football Club's NFL Player of the Year award. Cunningham's remarkable achievements drew praise from all corners, as players from all over the league lined up to be part of the show. But number 12 is only part of the talent and leadership owner Norman Brayman and President Harry Gamble can call on to bring their blueprint to life.
To be a leader, you don't have to be a vocal leader. I think maybe some of the greatest leaders in all the sports have done their talking on the field. Reggie is someone that you have to at least have 2 people assigned to be effective in blocking him. He's a classic team player.
White's amazing consistency earned him a spot as a Pro Bowl starter for the 5th consecutive season. But the Minister of Defense made his greatest contribution during the team's early season struggle. Looking to climb out of the hole of an 0-2 start, the winless Birds needed inspiration. And in Anaheim in Week 3, White led them into the win column.
Everett goes back, he's looking, he's being chased. The football comes loose. Jerome Brown picks it up, and Jerome Brown is going all the way down to the 32-yard line. The hit was by Reggie White.
With the Rams shut down, the offense was jump-started by 2 veterans.
Cunningham is back again. He is looping it for Quick, who leaps and has it for a touchdown. Cunningham the Quick.
It was a day the offense shined as Mike Quick caught his 61st career touchdown, and Anthony Toney produced the first 100-yard rushing day by an Eagle since 1987. But after a Week 4 loss to the Colts, the defense was once again called upon to turn things around. Facing the Vikings in a Monday night showdown, the gang green swarmed over the men in purple in a vintage Eagles performance.
Deep, good hang time, and bobbled by Walker. Fight for the football, Eagles have it.
It was swarming takeaway football.
Listen to the crowd, they are roaring. They would love a big defensive play. Gannon backpedals, he is hit, the ball comes loose. Turnover, Eagles. First and goal, Eagles. Cunningham to Toney, off the right side. Touchdown, Anthony Toney.
But the cherry on this Sunday came from 2 rookies.
As Randall backs up, steps forward, he fired, it's deflected and caught by Keith Jackson, tapped into the hands of Fred Barnett, touchdown! Or Calvin Williams had it into his hands, it was deflected into the hands of Fred Barnett for the touchdown.
That electrifying moment on Monday night was the beginning of a remarkable season for rookie wideouts Calvin Williams and Fred Barnett, 2 players who elevated sharing the load to an art. Number 89 Calvin Williams displayed a veteran's knack for running precise patterns, and his team leading 9 touchdown receptions set an Eagles rookie record. Armed with his degree in hotel and restaurant management from Purdue, Williams feasted on defensive backs all over the league, and in short order made toast of anyone unfortunate enough to come into his kitchen. Williams' counterpart was speedy number 86, Fred Barnett, the man who provided the Eagles with a deep threat they had missed since former All-Pro Mike Quick was slowed by injuries through much of the past 3 seasons. The man known as Arkansas Fred snared 8 touchdown catches in 1990. But it was his ability to stretch defenses that proved invaluable. Along with fellow rookie Mike Bellamy, the Eagles' young receiving corps was the final part to the machine that was poised for a run at the 1990 playoffs.
No, don't stop, man. Don't stop. Let's go to work, man. Keep pushing.
Saddled with a disappointing 2-4 record, the Eagles rode into Dallas, determined to find their way back to the happy trails they were accustomed to traveling. And it was some feisty resistance from the upstart Cowboys that drew a team effort out of the Birds. With the defense keeping the Eagles close, the offense got a tremendous individual effort from running back Heath Sherman.
He pitches to Sherman. Sherman gets a block, comes inside the 15, on his feet at the 10, at the 5, touchdown! touchdown, Heath Sherman.
However, the Cowboys retook the lead in the fourth quarter, forcing Cunningham and the Eagles to decide the game in a thrilling last-minute drive.
Cunningham drops, he's looking, he's being chased. He guns the football, complete to Keith Jackson at the 25, at the 20, and down at the 20-yard line is Keith Jackson. Looking, he's being chased, now he's running. He's coming across the 20, at the 15, at the 10, diving down at the 8 with 50 seconds. Cunningham is back, he's looking, floating it for the end zone. It is caught by Calvin Williams for a touchdown.
The decision in Dallas was the spark the Eagles had been waiting for, and back home at the Vet in Week 9, the fire was back in their eyes.
Come on! Let's go play, Fonz.
Playing ball! Playing ball!
1, 2, 3, yeah!
He's looking, he's going deep, and it is caught by Keith Jackson.
The Patriots never had a chance. While tight end Keith Jackson was burning them deep, Randall Cunningham was making even his teammates stop in their tracks before leaving opponents grasping at air.
Holds up. Now Cunningham on a broken play is running across the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Now the near sideline, Cunningham for a touchdown! A 53-yard run by Randall Cunningham, and I'm not sure it wasn't a broken play.
The landslide of momentum became a thunderball in a Week 10 Monday night rematch with the Redskins. Avenging a bitter Week 7 loss, the Eagles dominated every phase of the game and sent a timely, albeit ugly, message to the rest of the division by delivering a beating to the Redskins.
Back goes Rutledge, fires the football, intercepted, Brazil running with the football and in for a touchdown, William Brazil. Rutledge is back, he's hit, he fumbles, the Eagles are after it. Simmons has it, at the 10, at the 5, touchdown!
The Eagles' gangrene continued to baffle the experts in 1990. Led by the linebacking core of Seth Joyner, Jesse Small, and Byron Evans, the unit has grown even stronger with support from number 21 Eric Allen, Andre Waters, 1990 first-round draft pick Ben Smith, and veteran Wes Hopkins. A group that makes its own special music on top of the hit parade. Eagle defenders cut more than their share of rug as they tore through the 1990 season. But the linchpin of the NFL's #1 rushing defense was the fearsome front line of Jerome Brown, Mike Pitts, Mike Golick, Reggie White, and Clyde Simmons. A collection of talent that has tormented opponents, and with the addition of new defensive coordinator Bud Carson, the architect of Pittsburgh's famed steel curtain defense, they should continue to bring the curtain down on their opposition.
I think the talent level here is rather good. I'm not coming in here with anything but good thoughts about the whole defensive team.
No one has ever argued the ability of the Eagles' defense, but in 1990, the Birds' offense stepped into the limelight. Behind offensive linemen David Alexander, Ron Solt, Mike Shadd, Ron Heller, and Reggie Singletary, the Eagles cast a spell over NFL defenses with magical skills. The Atlanta Falcons got an up-close look at the greatest show on earth in Week 11, complete with circus catches, impossible escapes, death-defying leaps, and some fancy tightrope walking. In the crucial road battle that saw the Eagles trail into the fourth quarter, a decisive late-game offensive explosion became the difference.
Randall rolls, backs up, going deep for Calvin Williams, open touchdown!
Calvin Williams' dash helped put the Eagles in position for kicker Roger Ruzek's late-game heroics.
46-yarder for Ruzek. 1:50 to go. The ball is spotted. The kick is away. The kick is good! And the Eagles lead.
Ruzek's timely boot kept alive the Eagles' 4-game win streak, but celebrations in Atlanta would be short-lived. It was now time for the Eagles to take care of some unfinished business. It was time for the Eagles to measure just how far they had come against the 10-0 New York Giants.
To not destroy it just because we're 6-4 and they're 10-0. Hey, man, we're better than these guys. And let's play like it. Come on, 1, 2, 3, line.
Cunningham stumbles as he takes the snap. He loads up, going deep down the far side. Complete! Touchdown! Fred Barnett! Cunningham, the Arkansas win! And the Giants have yielded a touchdown to a wide receiver for the first down.
Giant, don't forget downfield.
He's looking, he fires, has Byers open along the far sideline, 25-30, 35-40, 45 midfield, cut back, 45-40, 35-40, Byers down at the 31-yard line. Giants were napping, and that play burns them big.
They had to blow the assignment. Remember blitz and the guy outside blitz. Nobody. That's smart, you know that? Huh? That's real smart of him. Oh yeah, I hope they keep it up.
As big a blow as Byers' catch and run was, his biggest was yet to come.
Hey, don't wait for him to do anything. You nail him right to the cross, right?
What began as a Randall Cunningham scramble out of the pocket became the play that signaled the end of the Giants' perfect record. So thunderous was Byers' block, the Eagles were forced to take a timeout as they caught themselves watching the stadium replay. And by the time Byers had replaced his damaged helmet, the competitive phase of the game had ended, and the Eagles finished off their rivals in a familiar way, with crazy bounces landing in Eagles' hands.
Cunningham backpedals, he's looking, he's dashing, he's still looking, biding his time, guns it, it is deflected, and is it caught? Yes! Yes, touchdown, Calvin Williams!
Hey, Giants, they're back. Go scrambling. They're back. Game tackle, man. One get there, make him cut, the other should hit him at the same time. Game tackle. Okay, that's all we do.
Back goes Sims. It's deflected in the air. It's intercepted. And running across the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Byron Evans.
They're back.
It was deflected by Seth Joyner and picked up by Byron Evans.
It was an emotional fifth consecutive win for the Eagles, and suddenly the once invincible Giants were looking over their shoulder at the charging Birds. Perhaps the most unique weapon Rich Kotite will have at his disposal is the amazingly versatile Keith Byers.
No one has to prepare more for a ball game than Keith Byers, because really he's 3 or 4 different people, and he does all of them real well.
Byers' versatility was remarkable. 81 receptions, 960 yards from scrimmage, and as if that were not enough, he even brought his wife Margaret to sing the national anthem. Number 41 made himself a triple threat and was truly the Eagles' MVP, most versatile player.
The pitch goes to Byers. Byers throwing a pass to Sherman. Touchdown! Cunningham slips it off to Byers. Maybe a pass. He throws the football. Complete for a touchdown to Calvin Williams. He did it again.
Byers was part of a stable of running backs that made the Eagles the #1 rushing offense in the NFL. Running by committee, the Eagles could turn loose speedy number 45, Thomas Sanders, or the leading ground gainer among Eagle running backs, Keith Sherman, or even pound with number 43, Roger Vick. Against the Packers in Week 15, Byers hooked up with multi-talented fullback Anthony Toney for one of number 25's 3 1990 touchdown receptions. The Packer game was one of the Eagles' most dominating performances of the season. Coming off back-to-back losses, the Eagles were facing a Packer team bent on upsetting the Birds and sneaking into the playoffs. However, it was not to be for the Pack, as the Eagles used a steady attack featuring All-Pro Keith Jackson and backup Mickey Schuler to frustrate Green Bay. There was also excitement from punt return specialist Rod Harris, who has provided the Eagles with a scintillating special teams threat. and veteran backup quarterback Jim McMahon, who provided steady leadership throughout the season. Once the Packers had been disposed of, it was time for a rematch with the Cowboys, this time with a playoff berth at stake. Once again, it was a dominating performance in a crucial game. The Eagles' multi-pronged offensive attack kept the Cowboys on their heels, while Clyde Simmons and the defense simply knocked the men who wear the star off their feet and onto their backs. The Cowboys' Troy Aikman became the 6th opposing quarterback to be knocked out of a game by the Eagles' defense in 1990, a testament to the ferocity with which the Eagles approached their task. After Aikman's departure, the Birds simply took turns teeing off on backup Babe Laufenberg as they collected the final home victory of the 1990 season. As the Eagles look ahead, there is no rebuilding to be done. A foundation has been laid and a standard set from which the Eagles will grow and prosper under Rich Kotite.
They've done an excellent job over the years of playing very hard on game day, and that's actually the most important thing. I want them to work very hard. I look for us to maybe be a more complete team and having all 3 areas being impact areas. And I think the best is yet to come.